There are so many weird laws. Like, did you know that it is illegal in North Carolina to have a bingo game that lasts more than 5 hours? Or did you know that it's illegal to have silly string in Connecticut? Some laws or rules can sound silly, but most of them are put in place to keep people safe. Today, we will be learning about the 10 Commandments. Why do you think those were put in place? You can think that over, but right now, let's stand on up and celebrate God together.
Has anybody got the joy of the Lord tonight? Sing oh, You turn it all around. Where I was hurting, now I'm rejoicing. And in your love I found, and I have joy. Come on. You took away my pain. You turn my mourning into dancing, and I can smile again, 'cause I have joy. Hey! Let the celebration begin. Make a joyful noise unto Him. Come on, everybody, let's give Him praise, for He is good. You have given me a joy that won't stop and will never leave. So I will praise You with gladness, for You are good, Lord. You took away my pain. You turned my mourning into dancing. Now I can smile again, 'cause I have joy. Come on. Oh, let the celebration begin. Make a joyful noise unto Him. Come on, everybody, let's give Him praise, for He is good. You have given me a joy that won't stop and will never leave. So I will praise You with gladness, for You are good. You have given me a joy that won't stop and will never leave. So I will with gladness, for You are good. You turn my sadness into gladness. You turn my sorrow into joy. And now I'm singing and I'm dancing, and I will shout for joy. Oh, You turn my sadness into gladness. You turn my sorrow into joy. And now I'm singing and I'm dancing, and I will shout for joy. You turn my sadness into gladness. You turn my sorrow into joy. And now I'm singing, I'm dancing, and I will shout for joy. Oh, You have given me joy that won't stop. So I will praise You with gladness, for You are good. You have given me a joy that won't stop and will never leave. I will praise You with gladness, for You are good, Lord. For You are good. For You are good, Lord. He is good.
Hey guys, in today's story, we're going to hear how God gave His people rules to show that He is holy. He wants us to be holy too. There's just one problem. We can't obey all the rules God gives us perfectly. Not that we shouldn't try, but unfortunately for us, no one can keep God's law completely besides Jesus. But when we try to follow God's law, it's like a form of worship. Which reminds me, what is worship? Our big idea says, what is worship? Worship is celebrating the greatness of God. Let's learn more about these rules that God gave the Israelites through our Bible story.
Moses led God's people from the Red Sea to the wilderness. They were hungry, so they complained to Moses. "We wish we had died in Egypt. At least there was food to eat," they said. "You brought us out here to starve." But Moses had not brought them out there to die. God was in control. God's glory appeared in a cloud and said to Moses, "I've heard the Israelites' complaints. Tell them, in the evening you will eat meat, and in the morning you will eat bread until you are full. They will know that I am the Lord your God." Sure enough, quail came into the camp in the evening. In the morning, fine flakes like frost were on the ground. "What is it?" the Israelites asked. Moses said, "It is the bread the Lord has given you to eat." The Israelites called the bread manna, which means, what is it? God told the people to collect just enough to eat for the day. If they collected too much, the leftovers went bad. He told them to collect twice as much on the 6th day because the 7th day was the Sabbath, a day to rest. The Israelites did not always follow God's instructions. Sometimes they collected too much manna, and sometimes they tried to collect manna on the Sabbath day. God provided for His people, and He wanted them to trust Him and obey Him. The Israelites ate manna for 40 years, the whole time they were in the wilderness. The Israelites moved about the wilderness as God told them to do. One day they came to a camp with no water. "Give us something to drink," they told Moses. "Why are you complaining to me?" Moses asked. The Israelites had forgotten that God was with them and had a plan for them. "You brought us out here to die," they said again. "Lord, what should I do?" Moses cried out. God showed Moses a rock and instructed him to hit it with his staff. Water came out of it, and the people drank. It was a sign that the Lord was with them. God provided water and manna for His people's physical hunger. Later, He provided His Son, Jesus, for our spiritual hunger. Jesus said, "I am the bread of life," John 6:35. The Israelites needed bread to live for a little while, but whoever has Jesus will live forever.
Have you ever played a game with someone, but the rules kept changing? Or maybe they kept on adding rules. Like, imagine playing a basketball game, but the people you're playing with keep making up these ridiculous rules. For example, every time you make a basket, you'd have to spin around 20 times, otherwise the point goes to the other team. See, if the rules keep changing, or even if they are ridiculous, it can be hard to know how to play or keep from getting penalized. That's why God gave the Israelites the 10 Commandments. These helped the Israelites to know what was required for a person to live righteously. Everyone had the same commandments, and they never changed. Let's take a peek at them. The first 4 commandments show us how to love God, and the last 6 commandments show us how to love others. God's rules are good and are meant to help us love Him, love others, and live a life that is righteous. Since God is holy, He wanted His people to live in obedience. They needed to be holy since God is holy. There was one big problem. None of the Israelites, and none of us for that matter, could ever follow those rules perfectly. In fact, the Bible reminds us that we all sin and we all fall short of God's standard for holiness. Only Jesus can keep the law perfectly. That's why we can worship God, because He sent His Son Jesus to keep the law for us. When we put our faith in Jesus, God takes away our sin. And if that wasn't enough already, Jesus also gives us His righteousness too. No person can perfectly obey God's rules. We need help. But through Jesus, we can have a right relationship with God. Let's close our time together in prayer and reading scripture. Read through our story, which is found in Exodus 20, verses 1 through 21. This is a great opportunity for your family to pray for our missionaries as well. They are all over the globe spreading the gospel, the good news of Jesus. Thanks for watching, and we will see you all next week.